Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOXC. I'm Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director Sammy Burnett, coming off another big win over Lubbock Estacado Friday. We've got Andrews coming up this Friday with the outright district championship on the line. So how you feeling about things, Coach?
I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest. Friday night was a great opportunity for our kids to go out there and perform at their level against what I thought was a talented Estacada team, and just sort of took ownership from the get-go and got on the board on the first drive. They chose to defer. We took the ball and marched it right down the field and scored, had a 3-and-out, and went down and scored again. So sort of took the momentum early and never gave them an opportunity really to get back in it, other than a drive right before the half that they scored points on. That was all they really did, and then in the second half, they broke a big run play, and that kid's more than capable of doing so. We had opportunities to make the play and just didn't. Sort of put them in a bad situation. We did as coaches, sort of gambled just a little bit, and it got us. But, hey, it goes that way sometimes. But all in all, I thought it was a great night for the Brownwood Lions.
Of course, as you mentioned there, got off to a quick start again, was up 14-0, less than halfway through the first quarter. So just the importance of a quick start and getting the momentum early and kind of putting the other team behind the eight ball.
Well, I think that's the focus of our kids. Our kids worked extremely hard last week. We had a great week of preparation, and they were determined to go out to prove to everybody that they were a good football team, and we're working on consistency and playing at our level and not really worried about who we're playing, but for us to take the opening kickoff and get good field position and then just march down the field and score on the first drive. I thought was very important. You know, it is important for our kids just to reinsure their abilities and what they can do when they're focused and they're playing like a machine. And, then we turn around and kick off to them, and Junior Martinez had a great night kicking the ball. I mean, he's a phenomenal part of our team and very important part of our team. Without him, we wouldn't be successful, and I think sometimes that get overlooked. But to put a team on the 25-yard line every time and make them start a drive from there, the percentages are that they're not going to most of the time they're not going to score. It's hard for a high school team to methodically march down the field and score from the 25-yard line unless they're getting big plays or a bunch of penalties. And I thought our kids performed extremely well defensively. I mean, hit them in the mouth right on the get-go, realized real quick they couldn't run the ball against us, and got another 3-and-out, and we turned right around and marched down and scored again. And from that point on, our kids just kept their focus and played extremely well, and really wanted to show them and everybody else that we're a pretty worthy opponent.
Yeah. Coming off your best yardage night with 502 total yards, 371 yards. In district, y'all are averaging 51 points and 450 yards a game. I guess more importantly, 318 yards a game rushing in district. So talk about how y'all got that rolling.
I think that our offensive line has gelled. More film I've watched on them after our game, because we grade our kids, the better I feel. I mean, I'm a technician. I'm big on fundamentals and everything that we do in every position that we have, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, and to watch those offensive lines work in sync and work as a unit takes a long time. And watching them, I mean, I thought last week they did extremely well. And this week, again, they just turned around and did a phenomenal job allowing our skill guys to do their job. They don't get a bunch of credit, man, but our offensive line is doing a really, really good job of dominating the line of scrimmage, picking up blocks in the second level. Our receivers are doing a great job of blocking on the perimeter so that when Conlon or Ike have an opportunity to get to the next level, we have defenders blocked. And they're having fun with it. They really feel like they're in control and they're dominant. The hours upon hours in the weight room where they're physically able to whip their opponent is important and sort of takes away their will. If you're getting beat on every play by the guy across from you, it gets sort of demoralizing, and that's what our offensive line is able to do. I'm really pleased with them and what's going on. They're the heartbeat of our team. I tell them that all the time. If they don't go, we don't go. And, boy, I was really proud of their performance. And, it's easy to run that football when you got big holes to run through. But, Colin does a good job of getting the short yards when you need them, but does a great job of breaking tackles and getting to the second level. And yards after contact, he does a great job with that. And when it's time to pull it and read it and run it, I mean, he does a phenomenal job of that, and he brings a different element to our offense. So we always feel like, and I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again, if we can run the football, we're going to beat you. Because if we can run the ball, we're going to control the clock, we're going to control the sticks, and it also opens up our passing game and gives us more liberties to throw the ball if we want to. The other side of that, the selflessness of our receivers. When they're not getting a bunch of balls thrown to them because we don't have to, but yet they're out there blocking and doing what they have to as a teammate, just shows the character of those kids. And I let them know this week we're probably going to throw the ball a little bit more. I think we're better than their back end. We're going to be able to run the football, we feel, but we're also going to spread it out a little bit more and throw the ball and try to be more balanced in that area. I say that, if we're marking off 8 yards a click, it's hard to put the ball in the air. They say there's 3 things can happen on a pass play and 2 of them aren't good. But we don't believe that. We believe that we're pretty good in the passing game as well. But to be able to run the football and to dominate the line of scrimmage is very important. I'm very pleased with the seriousness that our offensive line has taken, the approach they've taken. They've got great leadership. They're all seniors. They really want it bad, and they take pride in putting points on the board and allowing Conlon and Ike to do what they do.
Defensively here in district, we're giving up 14 points a game, right at 300 yards, but just 110 yards rushing, and then also 8 of the 16 turnovers have come in district. So
yeah, our back end was our weak point, we felt, at a time. They've worked extremely hard to get better at what they do. I thought we played some very good balls. They made some plays, a couple of plays, but that's expected in the course of a game. I thought Marcelo Hooker did a great job defending their young man that was their big, offensive production on the offensive side, passing game-wise, number one. I thought he made some spectacular plays, and I thought we tackled well in the secondary. Our defensive line does a phenomenal job. I think they're led by Quentin McCarty. I think his motor runs. He's very passionate about what he does. And then you got Davis Lee, who we moved from the nose to the tackle or wherever we need him. Not a big guy, but man, he's strong, and he's quick. So he causes people look at him and laugh, but they aren't laughing when the game's over because he causes a lot of problems. And then Logan Knight, we put at the nose, and Logan's a big kid, and he's going to take 2 guys to block him, so it frees up our linebackers. And our linebacker plays is phenomenal. Chance Jones and Sam Coleman and Stevie Ramirez and Jalen Brown do a phenomenal job. As linebackers, they're physical. We're out Cole Miller and we're out Trent Lofton, 2 guys that have started for us all year. Cole's either started and Trent's come in, or Trent started and Cole wasn't available, but we moved Robert Trowbridge up, who got to play in the second half and get some experience. And I was really pleased with the way he fired off the football and was initiating contact with them and being physical. A young man that we feel has a lot of ability. I didn't want to move him up, but we're in a position now where we still have 2 guys out that we're going to have him. But I was really pleased with watching his performance. And here I think the gist of it all is our kids believe they can win. They work hard. They want to win. They have a strong desire to be successful and to play at their level. I tell them we haven't reached our potential yet, but as we continue to grow and continue to work hard and continue to treat it like a business, they're going to get better. They're going to look back in 3 weeks and go, man, we're a better football team than we were 3 weeks ago, and we weren't bad then. So I think that the gifts that the good Lord's blessed them with, they're maximizing to the fullest, and that's important, of the utmost importance. And they believe in each other and they love each other. They get along well in the locker rooms. In practice, we go good on goods all the time. Every once in a while, tempers will flare, and they'll get after it a little bit, and they start laughing at it at the water break. And it's just the fact that they're all competitors and they want to be successful, and iron sharpens iron, and they take it seriously if they get beat on a play or something. So I think chemistry is huge, and I think that starts with the coaching staff and building the belief in those kids and getting them to be uncommon and to be different and to play for something more than self. And sometimes that's difficult, for a kid to do, because a lot of times in our world everything's based on me, and look what I did and all that, instead of looking at team. But our kids truly believe in each other. They believe in the coaches, and they're playing hard together and they're working hard for each other.
All right. Of course, Andrews this Friday, and we'll talk about them a little more Friday. But I guess clarify the point situation, since I screwed that up in the article.
That's all right. I actually had it screwed up. I talked to Dr. Young, and Dr. Young is as smart as he can be, of course, and he's been down the road, and we're talking, and I'm getting frustrated because in the game against Andrews and Estacada, they didn't kick a field goal after they'd scored the touchdown in overtime, and I'm thinking, well, that's going to hurt us in points. And he's like, well, have we looked at the district plan? I said, you know what, I haven't looked at it. Let me go look at it. Well, of course, I go look at it, and it says in our district plan that if you tie at the end of the regulation and the score is tied, that's actually 0-0. So in the playoff situation, whoever wins the playoff situation gets 1 point, and the loser gets a minus point. So instead of Estacada getting 6 points and Andrews getting a -6, it was a +1, -1. So the scenario is this. Right now, Estacada is out. Estacada had to beat us Friday to be the district champs, and they didn't. So they're at a -14, so you take the 1 point they got against Andrews and the -15 they got against us. That puts them at a -14. Andrews sits right now at a -1. For them to be the district champs, they'd have to beat us by 7, or by 8, I'm sorry. 8 would put them at a +7 and put us at a +7, which would make us tied, and they would win the head-to-head match if they beat us. So bottom line is real simple. We go to Andrews, we take care of business, do what we feel we need to do and what we can do, and we won't have to worry about that tiebreaker situation, and we'll walk off the field district champs.
Sounds like the best plan.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too.
All right, so let's talk about some other sports and what went on last week and what's coming up this week.
Okay. First of all, I want to congratulate Coach Smith and the volleyball team on their efforts this year. I know they didn't have the year they wanted, but sometimes you can't look at record to tell the heart of a person or a program. I thought those kids played extremely hard. Regardless of the situation, they never gave up. They never surrendered. They had great spirit. They played as a team. They had great senior leadership by the 3 young ladies that they had, and did everything they can. They were just young, and they had to learn trial by fire, but they listened to their coaches. They stayed optimistic all the time, and they celebrated their successes, so I tip my hat to them. It's easy sometimes when you get in that situation to fold up shop and say I'm done, but those girls didn't do that, and I'm really looking forward to what they have to offer in the future because they learned a lot of life lessons through the season. So congratulations to Coach Smith and their team for the efforts. On the football side of it, our freshmen and JV traveled to Lubbock and played Estacada's freshman JV. Our freshmen were victorious 56-0, dominant from the start, and our JV was successful 20-12, which was really good. They have several kids out for injuries. They have a couple that we lost for grades, and we have moved a couple of kids around and taken a couple of guys that they really needed. But those kids just battle week in and week out. They don't care who they're playing. They're just going to go out there and have fun and do what they're taught and enjoy the process. And for them to be successful again is phenomenal. So really proud of them. And our combined team went over to Wiley and put it to them 24-0. So congratulations to that group. They're 6-3 right now, which is important. I think our freshmen are 7-2, and our JV is 8-1, if I'm not mistaken. So all in all, it's great for our program. For those kids to be successful and continue to grow and continue to win is important. We'll take some of those guys after this week, and we'll move them up and put them in positions where they may have an opportunity to play and get on the field. And it's going to be neat for them. They'll stay out with us and practice. I want them to experience what it's like to go to the playoffs and be a part of that and see the atmosphere. So it's going to be neat for the JV to get an opportunity to do that. Just want to mention also our cross-country team is in Lubbock today running the regional cross-country meet. Of course, I won't get information on that till late, but I'll share that with you Wednesday. But I'm excited to see how our boys and girls do in Lubbock. Our boys team's in the regional meet for the first time in 8 years and got great senior leadership with Caleb Nelson and Luke Gray. So I'm excited of them. Our girls have been strong for years. They were young. The last couple of years, they're young. Got a strong sophomore group and junior group with them, so I'm excited to see how it turns out for them as well.
All right. Anything else we got going on? Anything else you need to mention?
Well, I do want to mention, our girls started their basketball season last Wednesday, their first day of practice. So Coach Hortz and her staff have been going with those girls as the volleyball team is finishing their season. And then our boys basketball will kick off this Wednesday. Their first week to practice, or half week to practice, starts Wednesday. So they've been in the gym working really hard. The freshmen and the upperclassmen in their class periods have been get to go in there and watch them a little bit. Coach Parker does a phenomenal job with those kids, and he gets them excited about what they're doing. I look forward to good basketball season with Coach Hortz and Coach Parker. They do a phenomenal job on both sides. So that's neat that's getting going. It's sort of crazy. I mean, all of a sudden it's thump time, and we look up and we're in week 9, fixing to be week 10, really, which is game 10 for us, and then we'll get a bye. But it's hard to believe that we've almost run the course of the season already.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I guess so. You know, it's been a long time since I've had a break and had a day off. But, man, I look forward to a district championship win on Friday and then Saturday, just not worrying about anything.
There you go.
Just relaxing and maybe go take my wife and daughter and go do something on Saturday.
There you go.
So looking forward to that.
Big celebration day.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
All right, what else we got, Coach?
Just want to mention, again, if you're going to the game, please go to the game. I know it's a long trip, but, man, the more support we get, the better off we are. We feel the fans in the stands, and Andrews will show up well. They have awesome facilities. They got a great tradition out there in West Texas, and they're going to be scrappy, and it's going to be a dogfight, and we need all the help we can get. But I want you to remember, if you are going to the game, please purchase your tickets at the office just like you would at a home game with Lisa Hasso. That's Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 12, 1 to 4, and then Friday, 8 to 12. If you get those tickets from us and don't buy them at the gate, we get 100% of the proceeds to that, and it stays in the athletic office. So, man, if you're going to that football game, please go. Number one, we need all the support we can get. And number two, if you'll get your tickets before you leave town, that'll help the athletic department out tremendously because we get all the proceeds.
All right. Anything else you want to mention?
Well, we'll talk about Kyle Larson. I can't say much. You'd have to talk to Star because my channel got blocked on DirecTV, so they're haggling for dimes and nickels or something. So I got off of work yesterday evening, and one thing I have to look forward to is just sit down and watch that NASCAR race, and it was blocked, so I didn't get to see Kyle Larson, which is Star's guy, become victorious in Florida. But I got to give him credit. Kyle Larson's a class act, and after what happened with him and Bubba Wallace last week, for him to respond with a win is pretty neat. And like I said, he's a good guy. He should be in the playoff run right now, but I didn't quite get there. But I got to tip my hat to her. She's got a good one, and he was victorious again.
Yeah, yours was nice.
Then she went, after I just gave her all that good, positive, praise, she goes, my guy was nice.
That's Star for you.
Well, for pity's sake.
Very humble over there.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, what else we have, Coach?
I think that's it for today, huh?
Looks like it, yeah.
Well, let's thank those that make the show possible. Auto Glass Magic, Bruner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Howey Enterprises, Humphrey Peets, Heartland Funeral Home, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter and Johnson Associates, Smith and Sharp Agency, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon, Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
I'm here to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, but how about those Cowboys?
Yeah.
Got them I sort of upset a little bit because I'm a Texas lover of sports. Anytime Texas schools are playing, I'm rooting. And, so whoever's the highest ranked, I'm really rooting for because I want to see a Texas team play for national championship. Well, Texas.
Where are you going with this? Yeah.
They let us down against Oklahoma State and gave up their game. The Aggies are just sputtering like crazy. Well, they're mediocre at best. And then you got, I think, Tech won, beat West Virginia. So congratulations to them. And how about those TCU Horned Frogs?
Yeah.
Well, they're just playing lights out, aren't they?
You got a little connection
BK
there now.
I do. And it's crazy. I have to throw this out there, but my daughter is going to school at TCU, and she's loving every minute of going to the games, enjoying that. And my wife, who is a football coach's wife, who doesn't know anything about football, just listens when I talk, and she's like, I'm glad you're sharing, but I don't know anything you're talking about. Sit and watch the whole TCU game. I said, all of a sudden you're a TCU fan.
Well, there you go.
I want you to tell me what's going on in the game. But she sat there and watched the whole game, so it's sort of crazy around my house. Now they're wearing purple again. You know how many times I've been purple in my career? About 5, and I don't want to ever be purple again. I'm going to dye maroon and white, and she's wearing her purple shirt on Saturday watching the Horned Frogs. But, hey, they're undefeated, so it's good for them.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't mention anything else about Texas.
Well, I like Texas. I do.
Well, yeah.
I like them.
They're hard to like sometimes. But anyway, that's all for this week's show. We will be back Wednesday to talk about Andrews and what the Lions will have to do to win their outright district championship here on KOXC, KOXC.com, KOXC app, and the KOXC Facebook pages.
Enjoy the rain and have a great day, Brownwood.